because they often even save their last pick for support. Gorilla is one of the supports that plays so many different champions at the highest level that he can counterpick an entire team. Like, they use support counterpicks, whereas almost all other teams are using solo lane counterpicks. First pick Darius does go over, but it's into Lulu.
Because the first game that KOO played was so strange in the pick ban phase against CLG, and they were able to get Darius and Azir, I think there's a chance that KOO gets Darius, Azir, as their solo laners in all 3 games today if they want it.
Very real chance. As of right now, though, gonna mouse over the Kalista here for Prey to match up versus Jinx. Flash Wolves, though, the Jinx plus Lulu combo. NL's been great for them. Goes without saying, he did get a pentakill in the last game.
Be interesting to see what Flash Wolves continues to pick. So far, they have the same composition that KOO played against them in their first matchup. Kalista, Rek'Sai still being hovered here. See what they got.
The other thing is that I don't think KOO would want to early pick their mid laner quite yet. I mean, if Flash Wolves want to really save their next solo lane pick, then they can for a counter pick. As you already know, the Kennen is flex, but Flash Wolves, the Lulu is really high probability of going to stake. That is not really a Maple champion. They'd much rather have him up there on the Lulu and top.
Especially we saw this Flash Wolves game earlier today where they had the potential for a Yasuo Gnar top lane matchup, which is heavily in favor of the Yasuo, and they said, nah, we're going to put a mid. Let's put Lulu against the
Match the champion with the player.
Still won.
Which one of these goes together?
Yasuo doesn't absorb as well as Stake would do, although Stake was doing a lot of absorb this on Malphite last game.
Oh, Thresh going over to SwordArt. That'll be great for him. He can start getting some hooks out and create more plays for the team. Pivotal on the Morgana, as we heard from the analyst desk, and just saw in the game against Counterlogic Gaming. Karsa looks like he may head towards Lee this game.
Yeah, I am always a pretty big fan of the Lee Sin plus Thresh combo, just because that jungler support duo brings so much versatility to the early game. It's almost trivial to get early vision with those two because they are so safe and they can create so many plays just on their own.
KOO looking to round out the composition here. What are they going to throw into the mid lane?
Yeah. Is it Kennen? Is it another mid laner?
Well, they still have the Kalista to pick up here, so you can always throw the hamster in.
Yeah, the Kalista Kennen combo is huge. And it would be a lot of AoE initiation that they could go for. Support Kennen, though, does go down very quickly.
Definitely a lot of thought being put in here from KOO. Don't see why they wouldn't go with the Kalista, but is that going to be a Diana mid lane? The teleport play is coming in from Kuro on that.
Would be a heavily melee team into a Lulu Thresh, which is pretty good at kiting if they did so. This
that'll give him some distance.
Would give him a little bit more distance. And even though Kuro struggled so heavily on his ear during the LCK regular season and playoffs, he seems to have put in a lot of time on it, even though Azir has seen some pretty hefty nerfs since then, and it looks like it's safely in his champion pool now.
Yeah, good call there. A lot of Sivir, Ashe, Corki during the season. Has brought out Ashe and Jinx so far, but Prey now over to the Kalista.
Yeah, you definitely do want to commend Kuro for the amount of work that he puts in. He was criticized also heavily at IEM for his Yasuo, put in a lot of work on the Yasuo and was able to improve as well. So improvement on the Azir, been able to, he's actually been a big surprise at this tournament as far as the 3 Korean mid laners coming in. I thought that he would be the least scary of the 3, but has surpassed Nagne in my eyes.
Hey, when your mid and AD can open up those champion pools, definitely gives you a lot more versatility in the team overall. Kuro's able to do that. Doesn't look like we're going to get any sort of composition where Kuro gets another early blue. That did happen when these teams faced off before. KOO had something in mind very early in the game. And now LeBLanc back over for Maple.
Yeah, we'll see how well Maple can do. See if we can have a repeat performance on that LeBLanc. Speaking of Nagne, we did see him get solo killed by LeBLanc on Azir from Bjergsen.
Yeah, I really liked Maple's LeBLanc in the last game. They're getting a lot of the picks they've already won on today. However, just as far as having synergy, this comp doesn't have as much as Flash Wolves' previous team composition.
Also, it's dangerous for LeBLanc. Smeb can hook him right back in once he goes in for the distortion that you're talking about. When he goes for that poke, they don't have the Black Shield this time to rely on for later game LeBLanc poke, and he's going to have to pick his target carefully if he goes in.
Really nice work by Flash Wolves to keep that Lulu out of the game in a ban last time. Take it for themselves this time, really allowing Maple's LeBLanc to be effective in getting people down, assassinating them out of the game.
Yeah, and big credit to KOO's pick and ban draft phase after their one slip up against Flash Wolves earlier on in the group stage. Also, because of their drafts, their early games have been able to be quite strong. It's something that wasn't expected to be strong for KOO Tigers coming in, but they've been a dominant early game team in this group.
Yes, they have. Well, all right, hit us up on Twitter with who you think will be victorious. Send hashtag KOO win or hashtag FW win to @LeBLanc Sports. We'll update the poll once we are into the game. The crowd continuously ready. Give some players your energy. They're definitely going to need it here in these long days. And now we got KOO versus Flash Wolves for Game 5 of the day.
The energy of a 5-minute long wave during the early game.
It's so good. It's so good. All right, we're going to be on to the Rift for this one. Let's see what KOO can put down. Flash Wolves 3-2 right now. KOO 4-1. Looking to keep the wins coming.
Yeah, I really want to see if we get standard lanes. I'm so excited to finally see Gorilla with Prey and this Kalista Kennen combo. Kennen was banned so much against KOO Tigers, and Gorilla is one of the early adopters of this support pick.
I love it.
In lane versus Thresh, he does have to be careful about getting hooked, but if he's able to sidestep it, Kennen can deal a decent amount of poke.
Always harassing from the brush, doing what he can, tagging all the shots that Prey's hitting. Really nice matchup they have.
Can he hit his first shuriken? Oh, not quite, but he got the auto for gold.
It's a good angle. It was a good angle he played.
Missed the shuriken, though. It's done for.
The extra range, the extendo shuriken coming soon.
I think we're actually going to see pretty early on in this game whether or not Flash Wolves is on the same level as KOO, because aside from that one game against Flash Wolves, KOO has been blowing people away in the early game, and already in their first 2 games today, the Darius and Azir have been just so dominant for them in the laning phase.
This will be a really good litmus test because it looks like standard lanes with exactly mirrored starts for both teams.
And now SwordArt have been very aggressive in their lanes. It'll be a great 2v2 to watch on that bot side. Let's see how quick Hojin and Karsa actually try to make some moves down there. Going to be harder to gank these mid laners this time. I'm still sure we will see that synergy from Karsa and Maple coming out quite soon. Again, barrier for Maple's opponent, so Kuro's going to be safe on any of those quick engages.
Yeah, and look what Kuro did there. He stands just off to the side so that the distortion doesn't deal damage to all of the ranged minions, but he's close enough so that Maple still gets aggro from the ranged minions. And that's how he's able to trade effectively there with the LeBLanc in the level 1. They exchange about the same amount of health, but most of the damage from Kuro's side was from ranged minions.
And I'd have to say this is the most mirrored we have been at Worlds so far. Both
basically a lane
bottom
swap
lanes
all the time.
took a jungle
Keep
camp.
track of this jungle race here. They're working way their way down
Both
to
jungle
the
top
bottom
laners
side.
double juggled with their top laner. And that hook goes way wide.
Whoa! All right, Gorilla definitely not wanting to take all that damage.
Yep, that's that poke. Does land on Kennen. Very swishy, no sustain. Yeah, he's out ahead. He's out in front.
SwordArt nicely playing the aggression in the bot lane, throwing out hooks to cause these missed positions from KOO Tigers so far. Back and forth again in the mid. Kuro trying to go hard on Maple. Both of these guys almost out of consumables already. 1 biscuit up for Kuro. Level 3 as well. Hojin taking his red. He'll be tied up here pretty much with Karsa after. He may be able to make something happen bottom. That's a good push up here by SwordArt now. They are not giving up on this aggression. Hook down. Hojin making a move.
Yeah, risky sidestep there by Gorilla into the minion wave, into the Jinx. Steps forward to try and dodge that hook.
Stepping forward is often the highest percentage dodge you'll have on a hook, and it's also the most likely for you to die.
Yeah.
When you dodge in that position.
If the Thresh guesses right there, he's dead. Or he burns flash at least.
We'll see if it's a trial and error for SwordArt. He should be start hitting him soon, if it happens every time. Looks like Smeb's going to get early back here. Get himself back to lane. Stake slowly clearing this out. He knows he does not have to push, keeping himself safe right next to his turret. Beautiful farming spot. Movement from Karsa now up. Looks like he's getting scuttle control for the team. Back and forth. Down and camps a bit to Hojin.
You could see just from that last juke, though, Gorilla's totally winning the mind game with SwordArt. That time, SwordArt predicted the juke forward and missed by probably like 5 full Teemos on that one because Gorilla was way far back on the juke. Really
I love the next level mind games. The little poker games that are in the lane phase.
Yep.
Meanwhile, though, Karsa is the one this time getting a little bit behind. He was also just revealed by that ghost from Kalista, so they know he just handed off the blue buff. Also,
right.
Maple shows up with blue buff. Wonder where he got that.
Wonder where he got it. First time around, there's going to be the Lantern in. Flay back as well, and the Gorilla, the hook, and the flash. Nicely placed by Gorilla. He was waiting for the last second. Good play by both sides, but they do get that flash and a heal out of Prey.
Even Summoner trade, actually, if we're just talking about numbers, because the Ignite is still on Gorilla, but both Summoners were burned from SwordArt. I like the idea of that gank. Gorilla did end up having to reaction flash it after he realized SwordArt was going to hit true with that death sentence. Still not that bad for KOO, though, because they didn't suffer any casualties.
Yeah, not only were Summoners blown down bottom, but also both top laners have used their teleports to get back to lane. So both of them do not have the ability to join if there is a repeat jungle gank down bottom. Definitely going to depend as well on the mid lane. Can LeBLanc gain advantage here with this blue buff that Maple's been given? If he can gain control of the minions and shove Azir in, he can get a quick step there on a roam. Try and make an impact.
Two great wards placed. One by Raptor, one over by Krugs right now by Hojin. He is just ready to take top lane stake. In a bad spot, but Whimsy. Whimsy always going to get you into a nice one. Looks like he's off Smeb. Smeb couldn't show aggression. It just would have shown too much.
Poor tunnel choice there. He didn't actually need to tunnel towards stake. He had the angle for the jungle. He just had to. He could have easily forced a flash, but he decides to tunnel and has a really awful gank despite having good deep ward coverage.
Rule of thumb: if you can walk there, don't use your gap closer.
It's very good. Everybody keep that in mind. Kuro farming up 38 to 52, definitely behind on Maple here. Remember, Maple had that blue buff though, so he's been able to continuously spam, keep Kuro on his heels. Level 6 for both mid lanes here. A nice check by Gorilla as well. Gets himself out with a surge.
Yeah, I actually really love this, 6 to 7 minute period. It's so tense because the supports are venturing out into the fog of war for the first time, trying to get the first line of vision down, and it's extremely dangerous considering that Gorilla already had to blow his flash. So good shuriken right there, able to avoid any disastrous early game roams.
Oh, Smeb actually getting a little bit deep because of the deep vision they have. Why is Karsa going aggressive? This seems ill-advised.
Not sure. Level 6 to 5. Karsa's not going to live through this. Yes, he does, but he needs the wild growth. Maybe they thought the bait would be faster, but KOO was moving steps ahead.
Karsa panic right there.
Yeah.
Didn't quite trust stake, and he got the Lulu ult plus flashed out at the same time, so they don't even get a summoner advantage for that. Yes, though, the summoner burned is on Darius, who doesn't have any dashes, so he is a vulnerable target up in the top side. KOO are going to need to get him more vision if he wants to play up.
Maple also lost Ignite when he was trying to kill Darius, which has a huge power impact in the mid lane where he was starting to build an edge on Kuro. There's no way Maple's going to be able to solo kill Kuro without Ignite against a barrier Azir. This just kind of empowers KOO to play more aggressively in lane.
Plus also does reduce the effectiveness of his early roam, even if he could try and gain control. So KOO actually comes out very far ahead in the early exchange and the amount of vision they've been able to control the map. Dual pink wards around mid lane for Kuro. He is set up for success here.
They're just going to be shoving up that mid lane so much. Not only the dual pink wards, the heavy 4 wards within the jungle territory of Flash Wolves. All controls in the favor of KOO.
They have Lee Sin. Flash Wolves have Lee Sin, and there's literally only 1 ward on the map right now, and it's a pink ward.
These matched up lanes did not give SwordArt and Karsa a chance to get themselves on a roam. As we were talking, Thresh and Lee in and out of a jungle if they need to be, but no wards have been placed past that river. We already saw Kuro and Hojin fighting for the pinks down bottom, so Flash Wolves know it's dangerous to start crossing that river right now.
Yeah, even though the gold is even, KOO is dominating in the pressure game.
Yeah.
They're, with this vision, they're empowered to go and push down turrets. However, if they don't actually kill turrets, it's a huge opportunity cost with all the time they spend getting vision, placing wards, if somehow Flash Wolves can repel these pushes when they have real poor ways of tracking Hojin.
Bits of damage here and there as NL's taking some hits to the face, and also to his turret. Looks like this next wave might just get right pushed in. That Rek'Sai call could be for a Dragon very, very soon since bottom has backed for Flash Wolves. Hojin looks for a bit more deep vision here.
I do have to point out that even though this is a very uncommon game to see at Worlds like this, as KOO is taking the turret while Flash Wolves is lane swapping, this is the way both teams are used to playing. They're very comfortable in this playstyle. Low lane swap, potentially fight over dragons. Stake, though.
That's the last bit of his mana. He does not have any more whimsy to get out. Karsa coming in. Smeb may still keep going. He's going to go down for a kill. Whoa, he gets kicked towards Stake.
He's got no cooldowns,
He
though.
does not have any cooldowns. You are correct. Held my breath for a second, but they're good to go.
That is the trust fall of League of Legends. Kicks the Darius right next to him. He's like, you sure he doesn't have flash, right? Okay, I'm going to kick him right next to you, right onto the Flame Choppers.
Oh, man.
NL says, yes, I will have the Flame Choppers ready. They get the first blood for Flash Wolves.
Yep.
Stake is in huge danger of being dove under this turret, though. They don't have control under their own jungle, and Rek'Sai could flank around. They are behind in this turret-taking game.
They have that pink ward coverage already on blue, starting to deny that. Not going to super hurt Maple if he can get those kills in, but it does not help, that's for sure. Flash Wolves answer to the top side. They don't really know that many members are in the bot now. Maybe it's coming into their mind since nobody's in the lanes. They are not going to be entering their own jungle. Karsa trying his hand at it. Does clear the pink, so nicely done. Flash Wolves got, or rather KOO must have got what they wanted. They're out. It was just blue.
Yep, all this deep vision for KOO that they've been keeping up for the last 5 minutes, though, is going to pay off. They're going to be able to get this dragon, know that Flash Wolves are not even going to come over to contest, so even tower trades, yet they get the first dragon.
Yeah. With the first dragon going over to KOO, I also kind of have to commend Flash Wolves for changing their tendencies from the regular season heading towards the World Championship. Normally the LMS teams as well as Flash Wolves are almost always contesting the dragon, even really early on in the game.
Yeah,
Yet time and time again, these Flash Wolves guys who almost never gank for Stake during the regular season are sending 2 and 3 people to the top lane and even lane swapping up there to take early turrets and foregoing early dragons. Their average first dragon's at 18 minutes. That's nothing like it was at in the LMS.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what KOO are going to do right now, because right now NL is actually in a fairly poor buy there for Jinx. The kind of the Avarice Blade. Avarice Blade Zerker Greaves pickaxe. He's not going to do a whole lot of fighting. Just wants to farm. Try and make use of the extra gold that he can get from Avarice Blade, and then move around and swap lanes and just try and pick up minions until he gets his BF.
Quite dangerous.
Playing with fire here with Smeb.
I mean, this whole game, Flash Wolves has actually been playing on their back foot, but they're doing it very well, which has led to a goal lead -1 dragon. To fight against all the deep vision they've had to deal with, and also have to go heads up against a Kennen Kalista lane, it's tough.
Well, we've seen Flash Wolves' ability to rematch against the team that's beat them before, Hong Kong Esports, namely. That's how they got themselves here. We'll see if they can do it against KOO Tigers and get a victory out of this win, or this game, I should say. 3 to the bottom, as we say. KOO, or Flash Wolves, continuously rotating top, rotating bottom, spreading the pressure out. Quick shift to the sands here by Kuro. No summoners needed to get out of that.
Yeah, great trade there for Maple once again, and that means Flash Wolves, not only do they have this bottom lane pushing, but also more damage on mid lane. It's going to draw Gorilla out as well. Flash Wolves going to press in the entire outer ring here for KOO under attack.
Flash Wolves playing this quick mid-game lane swap actually quite well. Standard lanes for the first 9 minutes, and now they're lane swapping around and have been able to kind of get themselves out of the losing lanes they were trapped in. If they would have stayed in the normal lane phase, it felt like KOO was going to use the jungle pressure and take 2 or 3 turrets. But now that Flash Wolves has been able to swap, they're really staying in this game. Based on how dominant KOO has been looking in this group, this is looking more and more like the game that Flash Wolves actually defeated KOO in. It's crazy how they're doing well in this matchup.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, the gold values are so close that what really matters are the back timers and the purchases that you're able to get off before the fight. What the good teams will do is try and keep you in lane long enough that you don't have a chance to spend your gold. So even though both teams at the top of the scoreboard say even, if you can keep them from actually getting back and completing the item before you fight and then forcing that fight, that's how you gain an early advantage in these mid-game fights.
Ward wars right now, gentlemen. It looks like where the advantage might come from. Cleared finally on the bottom side, but both teams very wary of taking fights now. Level 11s are coming up as well, which will be big for the mid laners.
Yeah, and so much of KOO Tigers' bread and butter is team fights in the mid and late game, and they are still setting up very well to do that. The gold is close. They have the dragon advantage, so Flash Wolves will be consistently sucked in towards them, and Maple doesn't have the black shield to freely poke here. KOO is still in a very comfortable position in this match.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think they do have a lot of the momentum here. Flash Wolves, they want to let Jinx farm up till she has her own crit that State can then buff him up with Lulu. Ooh, big chunk there from Maple, but he takes just as much.
Yeah. Eyes on. KOO definitely has the mechanics to make those plays work. Gorilla able to get out. There's a Fate's Call there if anything too crazy happened.
All good.
But get out safely. They'll be able to make their way down, clean up some more resources, and get back to fighting. As you're saying, chat, a slow early game for KOO, getting them going into the mid-game fights. Nothing too bad has gone off. Smeb went a little hard in the top lane, but we know Darius can just come back and start cutting people down.
Yeah, very subdued game, partially due to the standard lanes and partially due to when they're standard lanes, these teams pretty much only wanting to fight over Dragon. Because Flash Wolves decided to opt out of the losing lanes in order to trade a Dragon, we have this sustained period of very low bloodiness. I think it will change, though, around the time of the second Dragon spawning. Flash Wolves is looking a little hungry.
Yeah, we may see some early upgrades on the sweepers as well for Flash Wolves if they want to start clearing out all this deep vision. Pink wards go down for them.
They're not going to have time to go over and get that blue before this dragon happens. Well, it may. It's going to be a minute fight, though. Slicing Maelstrom goes down, obliterates the HP bars of Flash Wolves. Stake looks like he could be going down, and he is rended out of that fight. Bray coming up with a kill after he's got the flash in to get it along with Gorilla. They're going to back up, set up for Dragon.
The beauty of that Kennen plus Kalista combo, Gorilla can just charge straight in, and he has the confidence that even though he's support and hasn't been able to build his Zonias, you've got the Fate's Call to draw you right back out if you get into trouble. Enough to lock down Stake, and they find one kill there for the Kalista.
A lot of people, when they think about that combo in their head, think, oh yeah, Kalista could throw the Kennen in. But this is actually the ideal way to do it because it's like a free Zonias. Gets the stun out as it chains with the knocker from Hojin, and this is KOO's comfort zone, finding the right team fights. If Smeb wasn't locked up on that Flame Chopper, this would have been a much more snowballed fight. Kind of miraculous that Flash Wolves only suffered one casualty despite the very clean initiation there from the KOO Tigers. And now Dragon's up and
Dark Passage is only wide enough for one.
It's not a magical journey at all, whatsoever. Good point, though, on the Kalista, throwing the Kennen in. Also, you're going to get Kennen at his attack range, which almost leaves you at the end of Slicing Maelstrom. Not exactly where he wants to be, rushing into the fight.
Looks like KOO stuck around a little bit after that fight, so Flash Wolves has the start on the Dragon. They're going to get it.
Yes. Burn that down nice and fast. KOO actually making sure they got their own blue this time. Rotated all the way up to the top after that. Figured they'd stay. They had the wards, so they left it and lost it.
And honestly, securing 6% for themselves at this stage is decent for them. They don't have to worry about venturing out if they happen to lose vision control for the next Dragon. They don't have to take the risky follow-up fights now. They've got the important first buff.
They got their 18-minute track.
Yeah,
it's on time.
I mean, it's just,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Right on average.
Right on average.
There's no way, or there shouldn't be a way, where you can steal away a Dragon from the Kalista team.
That's true.
If KOO got
Double
vision,
flank.
you know, it's so hard to get through there, not to mention Azir.
Especially you give these guys a few more levels, another Dragon. It's going to be even harder. Kuro getting his item set up. Nashor's Tooth finish for him. Easily able to clear these waves out, as well as absorbing pretty much every blue buff on the map. Doesn't suck for him. Smeb pushing the top lane right now, 149 to 111 in that lane. Stake has definitely been trying to roam a little bit more with the swaps back and forth. CS in favor right now, KOO.
The pressure in this game has also been so heavily in favor of KOO, and finally they're starting to reap some rewards. It's kind of incredible how much they're also dumping down into the vision game. Double Sightstone, double upgraded warding trinkets, so pretty much every single person on this team, aside from Prey, can reach their ward cap just from their items without buying additional wards.
Oh, Sun Disc to boot as well if KOO wants to set up a base halfway through on any of the turret spots down by Flash Wolves. It's going to be harder for them to start taking these fights. SwordArt not able to hit the bindings this game. Maple not as much in and out from him. We see him get chunked down immediately. They have to consider their fights a lot more than what we saw from Flash Wolves versus Counterlogic Gaming. Already face checks from SwordArt here. Cannot get a third proc of the Storm to stun him. Hooking back and forth. Got him. Testing the waters.
He wanted to prove that he had the aim.
Yeah, I don't think Flash Wolves are going to get too frisky too quickly. If there's big play, it'll probably be, you know, just Maple trying to chunk somebody out from Fog of War. But really, they've built even around this Lulu, top lane Lulu starting Rod of Ages. Stake knows his game plan isn't to be a big playmaker early in the game. He's trying to time there once Jinx does have at least one other item to go with her Infinity Edge to have that fully stacked Rod of Ages. 5 more minutes for him to go, and he will be peaking as well.
And also, Flash Wolves is, because of the LeBLanc and the Thresh and Lee Sin, mainly a pick composition, whereas KOO is much stronger at team fighting. I want to see some upgraded sweepers out of Flash Wolves early on here. They haven't upgraded any of their sweepers, and in order to actually get kills, they have to be able to clear out some of these wards, which KOO is so heavily investing in.
Pretty low on money on their side. As you said, the sweepers are there, as well as the orb for NL to keep vision. They have put a lot of wards towards the top side of that red, but they're also being littered with KOO, so they have the same vision. Need to make sure those sweepers have a longer timer, as you were saying. They have the money to upgrade. Just haven't been able to go back yet. Trying to move up in the mid lane, clear what they can here and try and get a positional advantage. Doesn't look like KOO is really respecting that. Gorilla just walking up, figuring out where everybody is.
Yeah, honestly, for Flash Wolves right now, I would recommend splitting their solo lanes and then having Thresh be there just for the Lantern out. You can try and quickly push down a turret, but as soon as there's any danger towards Jinx, he needs to take a Lantern out immediately. Whereas Maple can fend for himself. They get the ultimate there down.
No, that's not what you want to do with your Kennen. Gorilla gets thrown into the fire and cooked up immediately.
That's exactly what we were talking about. It's much better if Gorilla gets himself in, because he needs to be able to get pulled to safety. Flash Wolf capitalized off a mistake
He is the guy that pulled the trigger.
They find their pick, and they get another pick here.
Oh, great flash. Smeb misses the Q as he comes in. Flash for flash.
And it could be punished so heavily because they have the Jinx in their comp. After they get these picks with the LeBLanc, they can annihilate the turrets right down mid lane here. NL gets one, and they're working for 2.
It's exactly what they needed. KOO to get a little bit too comfortable with their engages. Not enough vision was on the bottom side. They start to take that, but Flash Wolves actually can't get the turret. They grab those kills.
There's that play. We said if there's going to be a big play, Maple on the bottom side in the Fog of War. Gorilla with a risky, very risky reactivation of the ultimate there. Goes back in and pays the price.
Man, and
Faith's whoopsie.
It's so crazy as well. Up until this point in this game, KOO has placed 92 wards to Flash Wolves only placing 73 wards. Yet, they haven't been able to get any advantages out of that vision. They're really seemingly playing defense with high pressure. Maple just blows him up, gets the ignite early. Price thought he could save with heal, but ends up losing his heal and dying too. And then just amazing reaction to flash that extra too.
Yeah, there were no wards behind him to tell him he was there. May had a glimpse, but flashed the Decimate as soon as it went off. It was pre-charged by Smeb. Maple's got to be feeling good here, and he's actually going to use that for the extra long chain damage, but he gets himself out. He didn't have enough vision forward to keep it going. And Maple now could start to make some plays for the team. Being a little bit fearless is definitely what they need with how KOO played the early game very safely. SwordArt, now you can see the pink wards being pushed up, but they still have a few lingering behind them, giving KOO all the information they need.
Death Sentence does go wide, and they still call in the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, Dragon coming up in 15 seconds. This could be a very bloody fight. There are pink wards that are controlling this a little bit for Flash Wolves, but they really need to get some poke down from Maple if they want to start this fight. KOO not going into the area and not controlled by vision, instead sets up a turret and is going from here.
Great move here from KOO. They zone out Flash Wolves in their own jungle using Azir and get a decent amount of tower damage for it.
That's perfect for Kuro. He can just push everybody back into the channel. KOO is positioning so nicely as they set up turrets and start to move themselves back and forth through these lanes. So you can see how spread out Flash Wolves is. Got one on the bottom, Karsa and Staker here. NL's up towards the top side. A fight, if there were to happen, they could easily be picked off. KOO, knowing the dragon is a possibility, don't want to use too much or get too into the fray just yet. They're going to go right for it.
Yeah, let's watch this engage here, because KOO's ability to throw Kennen in does really mess with your estimate of the zone control.
Maple doesn't distort in. Gorilla gets moved in rather to the side. It looks like he's going to be safely placed. And I think they just walk out of the bottom of this one. There's the Emperor's Divide. Whoa! Kuro actually actually went in with that one, gets taken out immediately by NL, and they're going to keep chasing on this one, possibly a zap over the wall. They have Hojin. Hojin goes down as he's 2 separated from the team, dodges 1. That's going to be Maple's pickup with Ethereal Chain, and they are on the board.
Flash Wolves may not only just be on the board, but they could be taking control of the game here. 2,000 gold up, long recall timers for KOO. They all run back to base because the fear of a dive is too great. They're going to lose at least this turret for that.
Maple still hovering the top side. They're looking for more than just this. Like the way Flash Wolves play when they start to have a bit of a lead, that fearless mentality, and they push through. Not getting the dragon, but the kills that they wanted after.
Yeah, the Emperor's sacrifice isn't even enough there. Hojin went down as well, so 2 kills plus that turret. Yes, they were also able to get that dragon there.
Yeah, really timely kick there by Karsa, completely nullifying the initiation. And I also have to say, Flash Wolves is just a completely different team when Maple is on the block.
The hook.
SwordArt's been playmaking on Skillshot champions today, and maybe Flash Wolves ends up going 3-0 and getting first place in the group. That's the possibility if they win this game.
Gotta change his name, like Bind Art or Hook Art now. Either or. I don't know, SwordArt. It works for him, but he's just hitting everything now.
And Karsa's disengage here, Lee Sin, all day today. He's had great kickbacks, and he's been able to find the insect maneuvers for initiation as well. SwordArt goes really deep for vision,
SwordArt! Hojin finds what they want, got the pop-up. Oh, a great dive-in, stopping the Thundering Shuriken to keep him alive. Do they actually want the fight, though? They have no support here, and they're going to take it in the jungle. Kuro to the backside there. Can he be all right? Karsa kicked him in. That's the kick you were talking about, Kobe. They get it once again. NL gets excited, takes half a Gorilla's health. Maple goes in. Can he pull himself out? He does.
Ignite.
And the Ignite to boot.
A clean ace from Flash Wolves. Well, Maple killed Prey before the fight began. Flash Wolves take full control of this game.
They did lose Karsa, rest in peace, but they'll gain the Baron for his efforts.
Rest in many pieces, the kicks coming in. The audacity for NL to be on the front line there and meet Karsa in that fight in a channeled jungle. Absolutely ridiculous. Flash Wolves have just putting their foot down the past 5 minutes in this game.
Looking to punch there, ticket to quarters. All right, SwordArt, face checks here, but so many shields.
We need to see Prey get evaporated. He gets 2 hits from the Jinx. That's the big thing. He was too close to the wall, so it makes the assassination easy.
And look at NL on the front lines there. Even though he gets hooked in by Smeb, the rest of the team commits.
Causing Kuro to flash. Karsa goes down valiantly. And the cleanup.
Got that crit and the slow there.
Who needs chain?
Ooh.
When you have Ignite.
He hasn't hit a lot of the chains, but he's still getting the kills.
It's true, and he's about to finish a Lulu Zeko. He's so far ahead of the curve once again in this game.
Oh, word. My word! Oh, good lord. That's exactly the kind of thing you cannot have happen. And it's not even going to be Azanya's coming out for Gorilla right now. It looks like he's actually going for a Rylai's. So this is going to continuously happen to him.
Flash Wolves now 8,000 gold up. 27 minutes in the game. Everyone was thinking it was going to come down to this tiebreaker between Flash Wolves and CLG and this potential repeat kaboom of Pain beating CLG. Flash Wolves isn't even going to let that happen if they can close this one out. They're going to take first and basically end this group.
Maple and Prey gets hit already. Double Boss not going to do too much for him getting back into this one. A huge crit rocket coming in. Slicing Maelstrom cannot get to the targets. They are able to get 2. A little too far forward for NL and Karsa. That worked out nicely for KOO, actually. Nicely played after taking good hits.
8,000 gold lead now, though, for Flash Wolves. They just cleaned up the entire map.
Worth the inhib.
So dangerous for anyone on KOO to venture out into the fog of war. They only have defensive vision now, and anybody who runs into Maple is dead.
And one of the reasons Maple has been so dominant is if we look at the items, there's no Aegis and pretty much no magic from anyone on KOO right now. But nice crit rocket right at the start of that one. SwordArt stops the counter initiation, but at the same time, the Kennen ultimate from Gorilla was a very strong zoning ultimate right there, and they weren't susceptible to flanks. That is kind of a preview of how if KOO can fight them straight up without having their AD carry popped at the start of the fight, how they can still win.
6-0-3 Maple from the mid lane. Picking up the team, putting him on his shoulders with a little bit of help with SwordArt's grabs here.
Honestly, NL as well, coming in off the bench. She's just completely turned this team around.
That's a big thing. You're in somebody's shoes that was failing, that was not doing well. So there's even more pressure on you. Doesn't seem to phase him. Doesn't seem to phase Maple either. Takes down Prey, and he's starting to have nightmares.
It's not like he's not building defensive. He's got an Abyssal Scepter and a Giant's build. Maple's just way too fed right now with Deathcap, Ludens, Morel, and Omicron.
Absolutely crazy. Karsa coming in, looking to see if he can clear some wards here. The rest of the team as well. NL, so on the front line. It might be the demise of these guys, but he does have stake, he does have the Lulu ultimate, and they are playing every advantage that they have right now to the max in the face of KOO Tigers, right to the fountain as they take down the first inhib of the game.
All right, now they can also swing over to Dragon as well. They can wait for that minion line to build up before they try and pressure in on either of the mid or bottom inhibitor turrets. Dragon is Flash Wolves for the taking.
Yeah. It seems like it really was true about just the one Dragon they wanted earlier. Allowing the first one to go away. We're happy with the first one. They've utilized that perfectly. Tried to catch a fight off the second one KOO took. They got the kills that they wanted. Just slowly playing this one out methodically.
They don't even want it. They're going to keep up the pressure here. Wait for another wave, and top lane will be in towards the Nexus turret.
Yeah. That 1,000 gold Baron power play, though, is actually an indicator. Baron itself gives you 1,525 gold, so KOO's actually made up gold since that Baron was given away. Obviously, inhibitors don't give gold. Inhibitor defending turrets give very little gold.
Oh, teleport behind him.
Yep, that's Darius well behind him. Fight on two fronts.
See if NL can get himself to a safe spot. Great box by SwordArt. The hook onto Smeb. Smeb doesn't look like he's going to be able to do too much here. Possibly the kill to SwordArt. He goes down immediately. Prey still down in this one from previously, and it looks like they are actually, Prey went down. We saw him heal after that damage from Maple, but it is just so chaotic right now for KOO. Running for the hills, looking for solace on the fountain, and they can't even find it between their Nexus turrets. Maple comes up with another assassination onto Gorilla, and it looks like they may be able to close out the last inhibitor here.
When LeBLanc is killing you by pressing Q twice, or effectively Q and then R, it's really hard to win the game.
12 out of 15 kills Maple's been a part of right now. Everywhere, omnipresent on the map with the help of the rest of the team. They are just running over the KOO Tigers.
Yeah, 2 inhibitors down.
Look at those.
It's safe to say this was rather unexpected.
Minion waves pouring in. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely have to remember the Flash Wolves play very well with momentum and can change up their game from those picks, from those pokes.
Yep, picks and bans as well. Flash Wolves has been very strong with that phase against KOO. We were wondering whether they'd have enough synergy in this team comp, and if they didn't snowball ahead, really LeBLanc wouldn't be able to do these things. But he W to flashes and then mimics his Sigil of Malice, and it just completely finishes off Gorilla. I do have to speak, though, to the Darius. Smeb had so much success in his first 2 games, but this time he's up against a Lulu and a Thresh, and even a Lee Sin, who are really peeling him tremendously well. And then since Maple is assassinating Prey so easily on the backside, KOO just doesn't have a viable team fight.
Maple picking on this bottom lane of KOO Tigers so heavily.
Yeah.
4 deaths apiece, finding the targets without the magic resist.
Yeah, and he just built a Void Staff straight up. He had 2,500 gold.
Got them coupons, man. Doing well, things just fall into your pocket.
That was really clever.
15 to 5. See
if he gets the 2-for-1 here.
Yeah, 33 minutes in, he may as well. I'm sure Prey and Gorilla would take just about the same amount of damage at this point. Just a bit of HP stands between them. So Gorilla will live a few seconds longer in that instance. 56,000 to 48.5 right now as Flash Wolves continue to control this game.
Yeah, pretty easy for them to just sit out by Baron and let the dual super minion lines march in and take down Nexus turrets. KOO already coming out to try and defend. They can't stay here very long, though. They have to make a move, and Maple actually does it.
Over 90% of his HP. Slicing Maelstrom only going off over the KOO Tigers. A huge ultimate that's really needed to control the fight for Prey to get where he needs, for Hojin to do what he needs. And Flash Wolves just avoided a big fight.
Even with that avoidance, there's still super minions on KOO's base. A Kennen can't defend that. They're going to lose Nexus turrets as well.
We've seen Darius try this before. It doesn't work. Cannot take out the minions fast enough. Maple around, his mirror image goes down. Kuro using a bit of the attacks to get everything they can out of their jungle right now. It's getting tight for them.
They just want to keep him out here on the the Baron pit, and there goes one Nexus turret.
Yep, everyone must retreat and give the Baron for free to Flash Wolves. As soon as they see an extra defender down there, I think they're just going to start the Baron.
And this is when the game really starts to feel bad, when you know you can't do anything because minions are crashing into your base. You have to call too many members back.
Play here
it gives another fight to Flash Wolves, right to Prey in the back line. No chance that he can live throughout this fight. Kuro's going to be next. They are able to take down NL, but the damage is still there. Maple gets hit by the Noxian Guillotine. Actually pulled in. Can he put out more damage? Steak versus Hojin, and it's still Gorilla in the base trying to stop the super minions. Hojin looks to get out of this one, but the Baron has been stopped.
Kuro had a really good team fight right there, and he keeps him alive. Gorilla, you can do it. I believe in you.
The farm trial of his life right now. Turret slowly healing up. Luckily, another 4 seconds, he'll get another minion wave.
He missed the shuriken.
The super minions try to come in.
Everyone counts.
Hojin, he doesn't have much time before Prey comes back up and he can get out here. No home guards though, so I guess it gives him a bit more relaxing.
So they did buy themselves some time, but Flash Wolves can just return right back to that Baron. All right, let's watch Kuro as he comes in.
Yeah, also Smeb gets his Noxian Might by ulting as well as his Steric's Gauge popping right at the beginning, so he gets really massive at the start of that fight. Also really key that KOO could shut down the resetting of the Jinx, and then he procs a heal right
Maple walks
ulting.
into the edge.
Steric's shield up.
And now also wasted his flash there, flashing into the Baron pit, because if he did that, even if he dodged the next attack, Baron would have finished him off.
What a way for the group to turn out so far. Flash Wolves coming out so strong.
Smeb could...
Whoa! Did he flash? He did!
No, he flashed!
Collateral damage there. Gorilla goes down in the explosion.
That's a third or fourth time Maple's poked someone low and NL's been able to finish him off with a Super Mega Death Rocket. Flash Wolves.
He's got his Rylai's finished. He can slow people down now. Stop the minions from rushing into the base fast.
Nobody's going to slow down Maple.
It needs Azania's coming into this one. Rylai's absolutely works, but for a LeBLanc continuously going after you, unfortunate. Went with the build. 19-9 right now. Flash Wolves know the power they have in the game right now. They're going to flex those muscles and get themselves into the base. Right around the horn to each inhibitor to allow the minions to keep pouring in. Flash Wolves have eyes on the Nexus.
Yeah, well, Smeb
Smeb! Go for NL. He misses it! The Lantern out. The Dark Passage is huge. Gorilla goes down immediately. He doesn't even really get Slicing Maelstrom off. Right back into Prey. Kick him in the mouth. Take him down one more time. The Sigil coming out. A double kill in now for Maple on his LeBLanc. 2 games in a row. NL coming up with more big kills. Smeb going for the victory. The valiant fight before he goes down. Kuro should get critted out here. Few more hits. He cannot shift himself to safety. And Flash Wolves onto Nexus are going to take down the KOO Tigers.
And with that win, who would have guessed the team that comes into the day 1 and 2 would finish first in the group? How crazy is Worlds here that they lose to Pain Gaming, have such a close game against them to start the day, and then beat CLG and KOO back-to-back in very similar fashion.
Whew. Such a huge victory for Flash Wolves.
You have to wonder a little bit if KOO Tigers was a bit lackadaisical coming into this game, knowing that they had clinched a quarterfinal spot. However, first place was on the line.
It means a lot to finish it first.
It means a ton. It means now Flash Wolves will seat up against a #2 team from another group, whereas KOO Tigers will be stuck with the #1 seed.